Today, I invite you to listen in on the Renewed Mama Coffee Hour chat. I host these 2 Thursdays a month at 1 o'clock Eastern on Zoom. I would love for you to join me. We can enjoy a coffee together, meet face to face, ask questions, and encourage each other in motherhood. Now, this particular coffee hour, I had some technical issues, so I'm re-recording it so that you can enjoy the things I shared, but save you the tech drama. Let's jump in. I'm Kimberly Mutar. I help mamas communicate with their kids. They actually listen and talk to you. And you stay patient, calm, and speak life to your kids in a way that they understand. This is the Renewed Mama Podcast. Are you ready to say goodbye to nagging, being sarcastic, shouting, or repeating yourself 100 times? Hello to peace in your home. Everyone gets along, and you, mama, raise great, confident kids. On the Renewed Mama Podcast, we've been talking about communicating better with our children. We're going to continue this discussion in a practical way where I would love for you to get a piece of paper, maybe your journal, and a pen to write with. You'll walk away with 1 or 2 communication skills that you can use this afternoon to better connect with your kids. Every child wants to be seen, heard, and understood. They want to be valued and to feel valuable. Take a minute and think of a time when you were a kid where you felt seen, heard, and understood and valuable. How old were you? Where were you? What happened that made you feel so good, seen, heard, understood, and valuable? Who were you with? I would love for you to write it down. When we were kids, one memory that comes to my mind, my sisters and I and my cousins would perform mini plays based on a kids devotional that we had called Keys for Kids, kind of like your Our Daily Bread. But we would put on these little plays and perform them for my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, my parents. Then I went on to write a play about recycling that we actually put on when I was in grade 5. We had all the characters, the whole class, we put it on for the rest of the school. It was amazing. I mean, moments like these help your kids to feel seen, heard, understood, and valuable. Our kids carry these moments with them through life. Now, I want you to think of a moment in the past when you had a hard time communicating with your child. You may have a few struggles coming to mind. I would love for you to just focus on one child and one moment, preferably one that happens repeatedly. So write it down, whatever's coming to your mind. Write down your child's name. Where are you when this moment happens again and again? What's happening? What's causing the struggle or the miscommunication, the temper tantrum? How have you handled this in the past? Like, what did you say? What did you do? How has your child responded? How do you wish things would go or be resolved if and when it happens again? Take a moment, pause this episode, and journal those thoughts now. Now, let's talk through how to communicate well the next time that it happens. Number 1, you can even write this on your paper, stay calm. Choose to keep yourself calm in the moment, no matter how frustrating it is, or how many times you've told them not to, or how late you are getting out the door. Stay calm. Remember that your child matters more. I know you're saying, of course, Kimberly, my child matters more. But I'm a mom too. I've been there. I'm doing that. I mean, we could type hashtag motherhood, hashtag keeping it real. Sometimes times cleaning up broken glass is a big deal when you don't have time to. Sometimes you want them to hurry it up already, or stop nagging their sister, or stop the temper tantrum in the Walmart aisle. Those feel like a big deal, a bigger deal than communicating with your child and reflecting understanding. You may not naturally think in that moment just because it's so frustrating. What is it that this child needs right now? Like you did when they were babies and they couldn't communicate to you what they needed or they wanted. In these moments, you have to remind yourself that my child matters more, meaning their heart. What is it that they really need? What is the need behind how they are behaving? In those moments, I want you to stop. I want you to observe. I want you to listen, take in the moment, just pause. This helps you not to jump to conclusions or to frustration or to shouting or to annoyance. You're staying calm. Now, you know your child well. If you consider the moment that you just journaled about or you wrote down on your paper, you know how it normally goes down. And you're here to improve that. You want to communicate well. You want to stay connected with your child. You want to help them so that it doesn't keep happening again, right? The biggest breakthrough you can get today is that it isn't really about changing them, or changing anyone for that matter. It's about changing you first, changing how you think, how you speak, and how you respond in the moment. This will open the door to connection with your child. So in the moment, this moment that you've written down on your paper that happens often, you're staying calm. You're remembering my child matters most, not the spilled milk or the toothpaste squeezed out of the tube, whatever the situation may be. You're observing, you're listening, you're taking in the moment, you're pausing. This only needs to take seconds. Then you're going to tune in to your thoughts. That's number one. Your words, that's number two. And then you're going to choose the best response. That's number three. Doing this will help your child to feel seen, heard, and understood. They will feel valuable. So look back to that moment that you journaled about. What are your thoughts in the past when it happened? And what are your thoughts about it now? When you take a moment to think over the situation when it's calm, it hasn't happened maybe in a day, a week, whatever the case may be, you can think clearly, objectively about it. What are your thoughts about it now? And what new thoughts about yourself, your child, the moment should you have? You can be really general and then you can work your way to being specific by asking why again and again, why to each new thought you have. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you wrote in this on your paper, I wish that he would listen and follow directions the first time that I ask. Ask yourself why. Well, it's easier. It's a whole lot faster too if he would just listen and follow directions the first time I ask. Well, why? I don't have time to deal with it. Well, why? Because it blows up into this big ordeal. I mean, when I was a kid, I learned that if I just followed directions the first time, I got special privileges that my other siblings didn't. Asking why again and again helps you get to the root of your frustration and your annoyance. Each time that you ask why, write it down. Then consider, what new words should I say to myself, to my child about this moment, in the moment when it's happening again? So for example, going back to our situation about wishing that they would just follow directions the first time we ask, we could say, new thought, I am patient. I want to help my son learn to follow directions the first time so that he can be trusted with a job someday. He can honor and help his wife when she asks him for something. He does it the first time. So, wow, that's a relief off of her shoulders. God has big assignments for him. And when he hears God tell him go, he goes and does it. What new way should you respond? Okay, here's our example. I could tell him about a time when following directions the first time my mom, his grandma, asked me to do something and I did it right away. I get to go outside and play the rest of the day while my sister had to stay in and help clean the house. I can tell him about how I followed a teacher's directions and it helped me get a better grade. Telling stories like this helps them, well, first of all, realize that we were once kids and struggled with the same things they are struggling with. But it just helps it come to life for them. They can see a situation and they can see you overcome that situation when you tell them the story. Can you anticipate how your child will respond? Can you anticipate how you will feel in the moment if it happens again and it turns out the way that you're brainstorming now? You think this new thought, you say these new words, you stay patient, you don't give in to the frustration, and then you respond in a new, patient way. This isn't about overhauling all of your thoughts, your words, and your responses today. This is about being intentional, especially about the moment that happens regularly with your child. You're just pausing, you're evaluating, and you're making a plan to support yourself and your child in the future. It's huge. Small, simple steps or changes lead to wins, which lead to new habits, which leads to new responses and better connection. It's about incremental progress until one day you say, temper tantrums? I can't even remember the last time that we had a temper tantrum to deal with. It's possible, I promise you. This has been my story, staying intentional about the small, simple steps. I'll leave a link in the show notes with my story, and you can hear how I worked through making these small, simple, incremental changes in my thoughts, my words, and my responses. How's it going? You're doing some work on yourself. This makes you a renewed mama. What will you take away from this conversation? Doing this work, this renewing work, is how we get breakthroughs inside Renewed Mama Coaching. When you join Renewed Mama Coaching, your kids might look at you funny because you're making changes in yourself, not forcing changes on them. Renewed Mama Coaching is for you if you feel like you're talking to the air. I mean, surely your kids have selective hearing. You wish for a quarter, a dollar every time you repeat yourself. You focus on their negative behavior more than encouraging them. You count to 10 a lot, trying, hoping to stay patient. You want to speak kind words to your kids, but you didn't grow up in an encouraging home. If you're ready to get started, just go to renewedmamacoaching.com. I'll leave the link in the show notes. Now, take your plan and go do it. Put your paper, what you wrote, on your nightstand. Review it regularly so that you are ready to think, speak, and respond renewed the next time the moment happens. If you need to, re-listen to this episode so you can write down the questions that I asked you. And when a new situation arises, you can journal through, think through these same questions to renew your thoughts, your words, and your responses. Doing this helps your child feel seen, heard, understood, and valuable. We're going to keep enjoying these Renewed Mama coffee hours, 2 Thursdays every month. Put it in your calendar. we have next Thursday, or listen to episode 150. That's the next Renewed Mama Coffee Hour. You can also join us live March 5th and March 12th, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Go to renewedmamacoaching.com. Just in the contact us page, send me a message saying that you want the private Zoom link. I'll send that to you and you can join us for the next Renewed Mama Coffee Hour. I'd love that. In the meantime, keep tuning into the Renewed Mama podcast for more encouragement. I'll see you next time.